What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 42 of my Total Warhammer 3 Kairos Fateweaver Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we have begun marching northward and are now approaching the territories of both Scrag and the Bloody Hands. We've also managed to destroy Scrag in a quick little ambush battle near Stone Mine Tower, and now he doesn't really have any decent armies out here, so he's gonna have a tough time defending. Also, he has only 3 territories, so I don't think he's gonna be that much of a threat, though the Bloody Hands are quite a bit more so. They'll probably rebuild a full stack by the time that we get up north. Now, let's see what else we have to do this turn. We are near to completing Kairos's army, and just needs a few more units brought by Silos over here, and a few more units built that we haven't started yet. Voljax also needs to transfer a bunch of units, so he's gonna go into various armies as well, both to Vindex and then up north, but well, that'll take a few turns, so not holding my breath for that one. Vindex, Kronos, who else needs to move this turn? Fire, you are going to continue sitting at kayaks and healing while we continue moving up the army of Kronos, because these armies need to sort of swap units around. Otherwise, I think the only thing that we gotta do this turn is build a few things, and then we'll be ready to go for next turn. Let's begin by getting that Infernal Citadel, the Great Mortis Delta, yada yada yada. Aha, Al-Haik, you get a port. And that's pretty much all you can afford, isn't it? I guess we can get the lattice here. And we should upgrade those walls ASAP as well, but otherwise, we out of money. Alright. A little bit unfortunate, and yeah, we're down to 17,000 income. Ooh, really gotta delete a few of our unnecessary armies, but they're ferrying stuff, so while they continue to do so, we can't really do much. I'm very tempted to delete the Recruiter of Fate, but the thing is, once we move north with Voljax, there might be enough units to essentially make another army, so there might be a decent reason to keep the Marauder horses around, for example. Otherwise, let's skip the rest of this, building upgrades, yada yada yada. We are good with the changing of the ways, unless I'm mistaken, though we could reveal faction intentions. The question is, who would we want to see the intentions of? I mean, if we wait a turn, we could do Cult of Sotek again, and we are fighting them, and they're pretty much the main threat on the field right now, so yeah, I guess we'll wait for the Cult of Sotek. Okay, easy decision, let's end the turn. We finished our technology as well, so we don't have to worry about that. And since last time we couldn't quite see what the increase was in the grimoires, we should be able to see it this time. So, moment of truth, I suppose. Get to it, and what, 3 turns I think remaining until the Sentinels get angry about the Black Pyramid's takeover? Also, I just saw an army of the Bloody Hands move, but I have no idea where it went. I do have to wonder whether they're trying to siege Iron Rock right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they are. We have a... what the heck is this? Ashok the Bloody... okay, this is just auto-resolvable. Why would we even bother with this? Yeah, we barely took damage. I don't know what the heck that was. It's just the AI being crazy. Yeah, take the money. Take the money since we're not making as much money anymore. Ally mobilizes Confederation. Ooh, Southern Sentinels and Itza are one. Huh. Okay, I wasn't expecting that, but interesting. And what are you doing? You're trying to go back to fight Fire, and are you in March stance? You are in March stance. Oh, Fire could kill you. Hook is not in range, and yeah, Fire could kill you and then move back. Okay, well, that'll be something to do this turn then. Settlement besieged Iron Rock. Yeah, I had a feeling. I thought he'd move away because of Skarbrand being here, but apparently Skarbrand is not very helpful, though I think we've learned that at this point. Alright, well, let's begin, shall we? First of all, Kairos, you are able to reach the Black Pyramid from here, and so is Silos. That's perfect. So, Kairos, to the pyramid you go. And we got 2 turns, alright.
Supreme sorcery.
Alright, you can take those, then you can have a decent amount of units here, and oh, the Voljax can't reach yet, okay. You are going to take all of these, which will put you up to 18. Then the Chosen are going north to Iber, so you're going to be 2 units short, Kairos. which is a little bit unfortunate, but there isn't too much we can do. What we do want to do is put you... Oh, you gotta be kidding me, you're gonna suffer attrition like this? I would prefer that you didn't. Oh well. Alright, and what we'll want to do is essentially trade these units around and delete one of these armies. So I guess we trade all of these units to Voljax, like so. 2 we'll trade back to Kairos over next turn, but for now, Silos, you're out. And that puts us back to 19k, still not all that good, but getting there, getting better at the very least. And I believe that's it. Now, I suppose the question will be whether Kairos can take out the massive amount of armies that are going to spawn around the Black Pyramid by himself. I'm almost tempted to say maybe we should keep Voljax here as a secondary quote-unquote army, and I say quote-unquote because, well, this isn't supposed to be an army and it's supposed to go north and stuff, but yeah, there's certainly a possibility. I still do feel like we probably should give 2 of these Chaos Warriors back to Kairos, just so that he can later replace them with Soul Grinders. And we also have to figure out where exactly we're going to get those Soul Grinders from. Also, you can upgrade those. And, actually, Xandri, nah. Oh, we can also delete you. And you. And you, while we're here. And we can upgrade you to a Dimensional Cascade. Though that'll be basically all of our cash this turn. Alrighty. Well, at the very least, it'll make the admin fairly easy. Alright, so that's Kairos. Garrulus, you're about to have a fight against Ashuk here. And this is Ashuk Face Smasher, not Ashuk the Bloody. Garrulus, Iber. Iber. Now you should probably grab Barak Var while you're here. I don't see any other army threatening you, so you should be able to auto-resolve this. It is an ogre-held territory after all, so they have no chance against you. Good. A couple Screamers died, but that's every time. Ooh, and now we can see what the change here is. Okay, so we've gone from 340 or 339 to 500, so about 150 more Grimoires per turn. It's okay. It's okay, so we get 500 per turn, so every 10 turns we get 5,000, which means every 20 turns we can break an alliance or force a war. Break alliance and force war are really expensive. Well, at least against factions where you would want to do it to. Now, actually, out of curiosity, Angrand, you're fighting all of the Wood Elves. I'm just trying to think of what wars we could force start here. Now, Rakarth, you are fighting both Itza and the Cult, but all of the lizards are moving south towards us, and they're not doing anything to anybody else, which is kind of irritating. I do have to wonder how much it would cost to force a war between the Bordello Errant and Itza, just out of curiosity. Bordello Errant and... I think we checked this, but just to double check. Itza, it'll cost 5414, so we could do it. We certainly could. What about against the Cult of Sotek? Oh, that's much more doable, but they're fairly far away from each other. It's a lot less money, though. I'm tempted. What about break alliance between Itza and Cult of Sotek? Probably about 10k. 8k, eh? So we could wait 6 turns and then force them into this. Though, of course, that wouldn't force them into the war, would it? Or would it? I don't think so, but I haven't done it yet, so I have no idea. Well, either way, we got to reveal faction intentions on the Cult of Sotek right now, and reveal Shroud on Cult of Sotek as well. Yes. Alrighty, that about does it. And we're still keeping an eye on Itza for at least 1 turn, so that should be fine. Alrighty, Kronos. You're headed up north, you're almost to the Citadel of Dusk. We're about to destroy you guys. In fact, let's do this right now. Fire, attack here, and then you'll move back to Kayaks next turn. This should be a decently easy battle, or at the very least it should be very much in our favor, and it's actually... I mean, this is pretty pathetic, to be perfectly frank. You know what? Let's auto-resolve this, mostly because these guys have no chance, and they don't have that Jungle Swarm ability that damages us so badly, because this is not the Cult of Sotek. So we'll just auto-resolve this one, and then we will... Yeah, still a bit of damage, but we'll take the heal. I'd rather fight the orcs, because the orc battle we're very badly damaged and should be a much more difficult time. Now, you need to get back to kayaks. I do have to wonder whether you can land. You gotta give it a try. Yes, you can, which means we get a little bit of healing and we can move to kayaks. Alrighty, well, that's quite nice. That actually worked out fairly well. And you will get here soonish. Chant, you are also going to join these armies. And I forget, you have a... Yeah, you have your Chaos Sorcerer, who's on a war shrine now. That's fine. And you're still on your disc. Good. Alrighty. Now I guess we get the proper fight. Not you, Recruiter of Fate, though I still would like to delete you for money. We now get... you, Ashok, and Garrulus facing off against each other. So let's apply some points, as this may be a little bit difficult. Malefic Sorcerer could power you up. We have Legion of Doom and Freakish Mutations, so we don't really benefit... Well, I guess Speed and Malice would benefit our flying units. Because if we replace those flying units with 2 Doom Knights, this might be worthwhile. But let's take Arcane Conduit for now. Max out that Tzeentch's Firestorm. And... do we need another point in Glean Magic? If we ignore the blue line, and it's seeming like we will, although, actually this is one of the lords that maybe we should go for the blue line. We would have enough, which would make the army a decently cheaper via... Wait. Post-battle chance of stealing magic item, income from post-battle loot, casualties from attrition. Oh, do you not have like a Quartermaster trait? I feel like I looked at this before, and yeah, it looks like you don't have a Quartermaster trait, so the only way to do that is via Renowned and Feared, eh? Well, I'll get magical reserves for now. Supposing that we get Speed and Malice for our potential Doom Knights. Does Hammer into Anvil buff Doom Knights? Or does... well, it's a flying unit. Huh. So I take it Hammer into Anvil does. So supposing that we spend 3 more points there, 4 points into Malefic Sorcerer, and then 1 more point into Glean Magic, which will put us at 5. And then we'll have 4, 5, and then 4, 5, and then 10. That'll max out. It'll mean skipping out on Aura of Chaos, or just keeping Glean Magic at level 1. But we could get everything and still get Renowned and Feared. Alrighty, well that's lovely. You also are going to get Arcane Conduit. And, we could get Flamestorm, though I haven't had good experience with it thus far. What kind of army are we facing off against? Not a lot of infantry. I mean, some. No, not a crazy amount. Those giants are going to be an issue. Oh, I picked the wrong lord/hero. Do we waste our mana on a Flamestorm? Probably not. Honestly, we're probably better off just spamming Cascading Firecloak and Flaming Sword of Ruin. Let's do that instead. Plus, obviously, repeated uses of Piercing Bolts of Burning. Firestorm's just not worth it. Not for its cost. Yeah. Alrighty, I'm happy with the rest of that. Let's get into this battle. They've sieged us, they've caused this attrition, they've annoyed us. Let's see what we can do.
Look at them tremble. They will be overwhelmed with the limitless power of change.
Alright, doing some fancy spell casting there. Good job, Garrulus. Also, is it me, or has Garrulus fought on this particular map with this little outcrop of, this little plateau out here on this little wooded area like 10 times already? They're really reusing this map a lot in the Badlands. They just need a little bit more map diversity. Like 2 or 3 maps, not 1. Just not 1 game. Come on now. Anyway, Garrulus is gonna open up this battle by annoying the enemy Goblin Great Shaman with tons upon tons of blue fires. Granted, this is going to cost us about, I don't know, maybe 30 winds of magic, but it's pretty worth it to get the enemy Lord off the field pretty early. And we do have quite a bit of winds of magic after all, so it's not really a bad thing to have. Down goes the Lord, and just like that. Otherwise, I don't imagine this battle should be anything too difficult. We've obviously faced off against much more difficult battles, in fact 2 stacks at a time with Garrulus before, although the enemy does have 3 full units of Black Orcs and 2 Giants, as well as a Doom Diver unit, and that all need to be destroyed. Otherwise, we once again have a fairly advantageous position in this particular particular location, plus because of the tiny little garrison forces, we have a few units to absorb enemy hits standing right in front of all of our units here, and we've even landed a few of those garrison harpies, or furies rather, for the same exact purpose. As usual, we're keeping our Forsaken and our Chaos Spawn in the back. The damage dealer is ready to go, while the Chosen with their halberds will absorb the charge of the enemy, and then we will countercharge them. Also, unlike last time, I've left a few open spaces between our Chosen so that the Flamers could fire down on them. We tried before where these guys would be down here, and the Flamers could try to fire overhead, but the Flamers have a really bad habit of hurting your units anyway, because of a pretty large amount of splash, so it is what it is. Anyway, let's speed it up a little bit while we join the fray. Looks like the enemy is firing those Doom Divers at us. Damn, one volley and that takes down the shields. You gotta be careful, Chosen, you're gonna start losing units like that. We're also gonna get a few blue fires going against the enemy Black Orcs, which is a pretty useful, well, pretty good use of them, I should say. It's gonna do a lot more damage than pink fires would in this particular situation, and damn, Doom Divers down to 14-9. We just lost 15 units of Chosen from a few shots. Yeah, it's partly because we have a square formation on these guys rather than a more wide formation. Did this so that these guys could fire, but then it comes back to bite me. Well, that's what I get. At least the enemy will do something out of this. Alrighty, let's see. Yeah, damn. Honestly, didn't think the Doom Divers would do this much damage to Chosen. Look at that. Very nice. Alright, gotta not underestimate the Doom Divers, I guess. Well done. Anyway, it looks like the Flamers are going to do their work as well. We've got the Firestorm of Tzeentch and the Infernal Gateway in the background, hitting one of the enemy units of Black Orcs. That was the main target. The Orc Air Boys and the Night Goblins here also get destroyed, but it's really the big boys that we care about. Similar here, we have our Flamers attacking them. I do wonder how effective Flamers would be against the Black Orcs in particular. It looks like they're losing quite a bit of HP, though their model count is not dropping nearly as quickly as our own when the Doom Divers were firing. That said, with their HP down to half HP, they're certainly not going to survive a fight with Chosen, especially with the support of our War Shrine as well as our continued fire from Flamers. Now, the bounce power is roughly in our favor a little bit, and now we're going to charge our various units of Spawn, as well as our various units of Forsaken, which should surround and destroy the enemy army pretty quickly. In the meantime, that damn Doom Diver, and frankly, I should have destroyed the Doom Diver earlier. We've seen before that 4 uses of blue fires completely destroys artillery pieces because it destroys 1 model per use, and I should have just done that rather than allowing the Chosen here to have lost like 35 models. I think that's what they started with 65, there's 37 models to Doom Diver attacks. That was my bad. I'll just know that for next time. And Gaze of Fate going down on one of the Giants to prevent them from attacking us. Our Cultist using his piercing bolts of burning, and here comes the Chaos Spawn. One last shot by the looks of it from the Doom Divers, as we can see the units of Screamers have dropped in the background. Our Lord also getting hit with Spirit Leeches pretty much the entire battle because of that damn River Troll Hag, but he's now going after that Night Goblin Shaman, who's not particularly good in melee and will soon be destroyed. Looks like now that the Forsaken and Chaos Spawn are here, the enemy army is getting overwhelmed, and the Chaos Spawn do quite a lot of damage, so they should be able to destroy those Black Orcs, even if they do take damage for their trouble. Looks like a decent amount of the enemy are now routing, and the balance of power shifting further in our direction. The Giants will be a little bit difficult to bring down, but otherwise, I don't imagine we'll be having too much issues. There's the other Giant. Our Lord has almost killed the enemy Lord, and while the River Troll Hag moved in to help him, we've moved another unit of Forsaken around the little plateau, and are going to surround and kill her as well. Is that supposed to be a bag of fish? What's she actually hitting things with? What is that? What's in the sack? Huh. I actually can't tell. I feel like there's like some tentacles or something. Ah, yeah, there's at least one fish. Oh, is that an octopus, I guess? Wait. A river octopus? Yeah, those are definitely tentacles. This is a river troll hag. I'm reasonably sure that octopi don't live in rivers, but I'm no marine biologist, so I have no idea. Well, damn it, now I have to look it up. I mean, it's also Warhammer, so it's not gonna, you know, be realistic either. But I demand realism from my Warhammer games. Ooh, be careful with those flamers, they're gonna kill our own Forsaken. Anyway, it looks like the enemy lord has just about dropped. The River Troll Hag is routing, and our own Forsaken are going to be able to chase her down. The giants still remain, but it looks like they're about to rout as well, surrounded as they are by piles of halberdiers, as well as those Chaos Spawn. Well, there we go. Alrighty, well done, Garrulus. Garrulus is definitely one of our specialized anti-orc armies, or specifically not one of our specialized anti-orc army. Iber has fought pretty much everything under the sun, whereas Garrulus has been fighting orcs just over and over for most of the campaign, and I'd like to think he's gotten quite a taste for it, and some experience. I feel like, I wish that there was a system where units would gain, you know how like, how lords gain experience plus leadership for fighting specific factions repeatedly, like you gain +5 leadership for killing orcs a bunch of times or winning battles against orcs. I wish that that system slightly translated to unit veterancy as well. And yeah, I know that's a lot of extra data to keep track of, so that's probably why. And it's also kind of unnecessary feature creep, but it would be a cool thing to have. Like, if you could have armies that fought Skaven a billion times, or, well, orcs in this case a billion times, therefore those units would be specifically experienced or more experienced at fighting the Skaven. This is the campaign after all, and it would help in terms of RP and stuff like that, and make you more attached to specific themed armies, and, well, more themify armies. Just an idea, devs, if you're listening. Anyway, somehow I doubt it. Anyway, close victory, although we didn't really take that much damage, although our poor unit of Chosen certainly did, and we did start the battle hurt, so maybe that contributed to the whole thing. But anyway, I think we're fine. We shouldn't have too much trouble with the remaining forces here. Alrighty, 174 losses. That actually turned out to be a little bit easier than I was expecting, considering we started off the damage. Started off the battle pretty badly. Damage. Nice job to the central units of Chosen, 10,000 damage on them, and I think that's probably the highest. Other than the Flamers, most likely. Oh, in fact, they beat the Flamers. Looks like the Chosen won out, which does make sense, because once again, they were central to it, and I do think that this army is now performing considerably better with the Chosen than it was previously with only the Chaos Warriors. Now, we can heal up a little bit, but we are in our own territory, but then again, we attacked them, didn't we? Which means we can still move. It is 1.7k though. Yeah, you know what, heal up. Heal up, we're still gonna have to auto-resolve these guys, and we're still gonna have to continue moving out and taking stuff. So, let's do that, then we'll take you out. Auto-resolve.
In Tzeentch's name.
And 2% healing, yeah, take the 2%. Better than nothing. And then I guess we take Barag Dawazbag. We do want Carrick drawn. I'm hoping that Skarbrand doesn't go up there. Huh, he wants Akendorf. He's just completely ignoring the fact that we told him to defend us, didn't we? Oh, Scarby. I'd really love to tell him to attack the dwarfs, but frankly, we're busy right now. And once we've destroyed the Bloody Hands, then we'll be good. And honestly, I don't want Skarbrand to take these territories. I wouldn't mind if he took, for example, Karazakarak, though. Like, if we were to tell him to go after the Pillars of Grugni, I wonder if he'd do it. No, I'll go for Barag Dawazbag for now. And I'll resolve that as well. Good job, Garrulus. You doing good work lately. Although you've been doing good work for quite a long time. Not as good as Iber, mind you, but good. Yeah, just ignore Akendorf. I'd rather take it for ourselves. I mean, to Scarby. Scarby, fine. If you're gonna ignore us, go and occupy the Pillars of Grugni. Well, let's see if he's willing to do that. It would be great. Now, who else needs to move? Vindex, you are recruiting... You were recruiting. You know what? Head out to Khemri. We may use you to defend stuff. And you have to take these units from Voljax anyway, so I guess we'll send Voljax here and use you guys together if necessary. Yeah. And also, just to double check here, first of all, Lucas, you're still heading out to Ibern. Damn, I don't like how many enemy heroes there are in this territory. Makes me feel like they're probably going to attack us. Iber has those pink cores which also have to be transferred, but I suppose we could give them to Recruiter of Fate and then deal with that. These two need to become Doom Knights, but there's nobody to recruit the Doom Knights here. We'd have to recruit them somewhere else. I suppose if we really wanted to, the Recruiter of Fate could spend 4 turns here just recruiting the Doom Knights. It's gonna cost us 4k though. Ugh. Maybe later. Fire is good, Recruiter is good. Yartolk, you have to go into the Sorcerer's Islands. And you have to stay there for ages and ages while we wait for Itza to come to us, because that does seem like that's what they'll be doing. I think they had an army that was moving towards us, and it may or may not still be doing so. I guess we'll have to find out. Rickard, you are sailing out, and we'll just double check that there isn't a better one. Pinioned, meh. We'll summon you and then we'll delete you. In the hopes of getting a better one. Alright. That's about it in terms of moves, other than Recruiter of Fate, who has once again already moved. Now let's check the buildings, then we'll end the turn. Atlan Mountains, Martek and Vulture Mountain. Vulture Mountain, you're going to have to go to Infernal Citadel so that we reduce the cost of all of these things, but we'll still get the money here. Martek, you're relatively safe, but you're close enough to the coast that I think... Well, actually, these ones are probably safe enough. Probably don't even need the walls, but we'll upgrade the growth if nothing else. Next up, Black Pyramid, we're good. Heart of the Jungle, you, kayaks, can have money. Coast of Araby, yes to the money. Capes, money, go figure. And we're basically out of money. I'm sure that there's something that we can build, but I'd rather not waste the time searching for it. So, we're gonna skip the rest of that, and we will be 1 turn away from the end, which means it looks like we'll be getting that next episode. Lovely. Alrighty, now, Scarby, you are headed north to, hopefully, where we told you to head, and not for Varenka Hills, though it does look like Garrulus should be able to take Varenka Hills. I'm hoping that we can take this stuff, then jump over to Iron Rock and Black Crag, and then take all of those, and then later on, essentially leave one army up here, while we move southward to attack Karazakarak. Probably with one more army, as well. Like one of these and then another one. Though, to be fair, Kairos is also not going to be busy here anymore, so he would be free to attack the dwarfs if he felt like it. And feel like it he probably will. Just judging by past occurrences. Anyway, let's see what else we have that we could possibly do this episode, though we are quickly running out of time. You can go north as you are still headed towards Iber. Iber can actually attack Eckendorf if he wants to, though he will... He'll draw forward a full stack, well, not a full stack, but a stack here. But it does kind of make me think that maybe we want to fight that. If you take Varenka Hills and you take Eckendorf, that looks pretty good. Kairos, you are essentially done now, minus the fact that Voljax needs to transfer a few things. So Voljax, transfer him 2 Chaos Warriors, not chosen, back. And we'll replace those 2 once again later on with Soul Grinders. Yeah, fine. And then Voljax, you're gonna go to Vindex, and you are going to transfer some pink horrors instead of his blue ones. Alrighty, so now you can keep the 2 units of Flamers and the 2 Screamers, but take out the blue horrors and take 1, 2, 3, 4, and I guess 5. Now, it does seem like we'll want to replace get a few more Exalted Pink Horrors in this army, if not all outright Exalted Pink Horrors, but for now it'll be fine, and I'm still thinking that we want to get 4 Cultists in here, and just for fun. And yeah, I still think that we should probably keep the Flamers, though... Do we want to switch the Screamers out later to Doom Knights as well? And do we want to keep the Screamers in here at all, is another question. I mean, the thing is, if we run into artillery, we need somebody to be able to deal with that, even if this army is going to be primarily horror-based. And yeah, I'd say we replace at least some of these with Exalted, but you can stay in this stance for now. Voljax, stay here. Let's say behind Khemri. Stay here for 1 or 2 or 3 turns. Well, it really depends on how long it takes to deal with these guys. And I just want to complete as much admin as we possibly can before next episode, so that we can hopefully start off pretty much with the fight against the Sentinels in the endgame scenario. Look, Tehenowan's back. He's also built a ton of skinks, but to be fair, he does buff skinks quite a bit, so it does make sense that he's taken them. You would be able to destroy his army without too much trouble. Fire, you need to head to Kayaks. I do have to wonder whether Hook would attack us here or not. I would imagine that he will. I hope that he's... I feel like he's going for fire. I hope that he doesn't go past him and go for Slansec here instead. I guess we'll have to see. Chant, you have to stay here, unfortunately. You should be in Kronos' army, but you can't be until Kronos is ready for it, and the same with Fire, because they all have too many troops. We'll somehow need to join these guys together, which means at least a slight reprieve from the lizards is what we need, but we'll figure that out as we go. Anyway, Chant, you're good. Yartolk, you stay here waiting for Itza once again. Recruiter's Fate is good. Voljax is good. Fire is good. Kronos, Vindex, Iber. Ah yes, Iber and Garrulus. Well, we probably should attack Akendorf, but, wait, who is this trespass? Oh, it's Angrand, who cares? We probably should attack Akendorf, but this will have to be a battle that we save for next episode, as it will have to be cinematic. Because, yeah, there's a decent amount of enemies to actually fight with here, so wouldn't want to miss out on it. And especially now that we have the Chaos Knights in this army, we gotta actually put them to use. Garrulus, you however should be able to auto-resolve at Varenka Hills, though, once again, it does seem that there's a fairly decent chance that Wurzag then sallies out and sieges you just like he did last time, but, whatever. We're used to it. Auto-resolve this, please, and occupy it. Alrighty. Ooh, and an Armor of Fortune, very nice. And the Blood River Valley is ours, which means we're going to pop it into Architect's Theorem. Also remove this and this, as we will not be needing them here, and upgrade Barak Var immediately. And I would upgrade you, but we can't do so right now. Alrighty, well with that, I think we're out of time. We're basically set up minus the buildings. So what we'll do is, next episode we'll start off by fighting at Akendorf with Iber. After which we will do the buildings, and then we will allow the end turn to happen, and the, I don't remember the name of the endgame scenario, but the Sentinels to appear around the Black Pyramid. Should be pretty fun. It'll also mean that Kairos will get to play with his new 4 Lords of Change, each with the Mastery of Elemental Winds that you, for buggy reasons, apparently do not have, even though you should, cough cough. And yeah, I'm excited to try this army out in its new form, though it's still missing those soul grinders. Should be a fun time. And depending on... So, these guys get to use 2 spells of each spells, including Tzeentch's Firestorm and Infernal Gateway. But it feels weird that you only get 2 uses of blue fire, doesn't it? Like, I get that they're bound, but it feels like you should have more uses of blue fire than Infernal Gateway, not an identical amount. But whatever, not a big deal, I digress. Stay tuned for more Kairos, and stay tuned for the end, at the very least, of the endgame scenario, though not yet the end of the campaign. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.